welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another edition of the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, week number 82. Your bi-weekly dose, your fortnightly dose of Korean StarCraft. I'm of course your site VIP. With you, I'm joined by these amazing players, by the people in chat, and by my plushies as well. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Bienvenidos here to our bi-weekly broadcast. And when it comes to the KSL, the Korean StarCraft League, of course, a big shout out to Dave, Tessa, and Chicken Man for hosting and organizing this event on a regular basis. This is now, unfortunately, this event did actually take a bit of a hiatus, did go like on a week's break, just because of all the offline events that were occurring, just because of SC for All and the NA events. I mean, there was a lot going on, but now the KSL is back and has returned. And as you can see when it comes to the title of the stream, this is a replay cast. This event did occur less than 24 hours ago. Fun fact, less than 24 hours ago was the event. The reason why we didn't cast it live, if you remember, is because yesterday we were live with Stellarfest. We were the B stream. The B stream was Stellarfest. It was a very early and very intense broadcast. So once we wrapped up, technically we could have done Stellarfest right into KSL. We could have done so, but I didn't feel like I'd be well rested enough, that I would have the energy, the stamina, the fortitude to be able to cover one and then the other, like with like good casting and then doing a decent job at covering the event as well. Like I was definitely concerned that I would definitely run out of energy, that I'd be low energy and likewise make mistakes and that. So in the end we decided to sleep. We did decide to sleep instead, and now we're here less than a day later to cover the event. Let's go. Let us go. And first we do have our initial series. It's going to be best of 3 between Shameless and Young Yakov. Let's jump in. Let us jump in. Despite the name of the tournament is at a Korean friendly time slot, but it is open to all players, including players from the Americas, players from Europa as well, as we are jumping into our first series, into our first best of 3. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Tokamak, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player. It is Young Yakov. Here we go. So thank you so much, Legators. Thank you so much. The partner anniversary. True. Do appreciate all the well wishes in the chat. Do appreciate it. As we are settling into our best of 3. Again, stepping into this Young Yakov, he has traditionally been a very aggressive player in this matchup. We've seen a lot of aggression, a lot of all-ins, a lot of Yakov being in your face. We'll see if that trend continues here against Shameless. I would say that they're both very close in skill. Shameless, he's an up-and-coming Protoss player who is amongst the upper echelons of Protoss at the moment. I would say the same about Young Yakov as well. If you recall, I think it was during the podcast, I was talking about how in current era and current day, Wayne has since been overtaken. Wayne has been less active. He's been playing less, competing less. His skill has been suffering a little bit as a result, looking more rough around the edges. Meanwhile, Young Yakov has been on that grind, and I would say is rivaling, if not surpassing, Wayne at this point to be one of the best Zerg players in Europe. Likewise, of course, Shameless has been improving over the past year of play as well, has been getting better results, more impressive results, taking down some of the Koreans as well, and has been looking very impressive, especially in more mid-game play. I would say more mid-game to late game, but we'll see if he can get there. We shall see. We are leading into Tokamak. Tokamak is one of the largest map. One of the largest maps in the map pool, the most defensive map in the map pool. We often see longer and later games on this. The reason for this is because the initial 3 and 4 base setup is very secure on Tokamak. Rotations in between the bases do take longer. The rocks, or the pathway in between the 3rd and 4th base, is blocked by these rocks. Likewise, you have high ground, you have elevation, and again, it's just much more difficult to break through due to those features, due to the rush distance by ground as well. On other maps, this area in between the bases is open, so you can actually traverse and bounce between 1, 2, and 3 bases. Think of like Maganatha, for example. Think of Ultra Love. But here it's walled off, so it's easier to focus and fixate on 2 bases, on 2 places to defend. So again, we often see a secure 4 base setup, and the 5th base is often more difficult to expand to, but you can max out on 4 bases. Not saying that all-ins never work on Tokamak. They can, they definitely can. It's just more difficult to pull off. The juice gets thrown down. Let's go. The juice is thrown down. Young Yakov, he will claim his 3rd. Again, just droning, saturating, pulling out of gas, and getting into link speed. Meanwhile, Stargate opener out of Shameless. Opening up Stargates into a 3rd base, going Oracle, of course. And we're expecting a standard follow-up. We'll keep an eye on his Twilight Council timing. If it gets thrown down early without a forge, then that's indicative of Glaive Adepts. If it gets thrown down early with a forge, that could be indicative of +1 and charge. If it gets thrown down without a forge, but at a bit of a later timing, then we could go into blink, into early blink, delayed +1, into an 8-gate 3-base all-in. So there are different variations, different options available depending on when the Twilight Council, if a Twilight Council gets thrown down. Otherwise, the Adept is going to be zoned away, and we have 12 links in production to shut this down and to counterattack. So big investment here from Young Yakov. Up to 14 lings. Link speed is almost done, and Shameless has to get the hell out of here. He has to shade away. Ideally, you save these Adepts and you preserve them so they're able to defend your third base. If these Adepts get surrounded, if they die, then the first Oracle has to stay at home to defend the third base. So the Adepts, they make it back. Third base is being taken, being secured. Young Yakov moves out across the map. Again, he wants that third, ideally, or the Adepts. Oracle does hit the main. And Lings, they will get a surround, but here comes the second Oracle. The first one pokes in, is pulled away. Adepts are going to be surrounded. 1, 2 Adepts go down. The Oracle will defend against this, but will lose both Adepts. Will have to be replaced. Will have to be replaced instead. There's the NG overcharge. Lings are dealt with. And Shameless does defend. He does secure his third, but because he had to keep the Oracle at home to defend, that means drone kills. I mean, there are none. There's no economic damage. And Yakovic goes back in. This time the Adepts, they have morphed in. They have warped. They're in position. And so far, coming into the early game, I would favor young Yakov here. So far, he's done a great job at minimizing losses, preserving his economy, and also counterattacking and forcing extra warp-ins. Behind this, Forge, Twilight Council at regular timing. We're leaning towards +1 and Blink, but we'll keep an eye on Shameless. As extra gateways are going to be thrown down. Gateways on the way. We are getting a safety lair. Sorry, safety roach, what I meant to say. Lair is also on the way. What's interesting here, no Eva Chamber. No Eva Chamber, no +1 melee, so we're going straight into Roaches, most likely either into a Roach Ravager heavy composition or into Roach Hydra and skipping tech. The other option here on a larger map, if we take all 6 gases, so far we're only on 4 gases. If we take more gases, that's indicative of Spire play and potentially going into Mutas. But extra gas is not being taken. Double Eva Chamber instead, going for Roaches. Nice wall off. Very nice wall off here by Young Yakov. He denies the Adepts. Adepts are denied. +1 and Blink. Standard follow-up into Storm. So standard setup here by Shameless. Alright, can he force a cancel? Take top of the third base. They attempt to engage. So what is a fourth base? So fourth base will be saved. We are going into delayed +1 melee alongside Roach speed. Interesting. Often you will not get both, so I'm curious here. The reasoning for this, of course, is you go +1 melee into Hydras, into Lingbane Hydra. Investing into Roach speed here tells us that we might just see a commitment into Lingbane Roach Ravager, actually. And not take up. And go for something more mid-game oriented, potentially even going for a 3-base all-in. Right now, we are joining up a little bit more heavily, though, joining up to 69. Nice. Past that, actually. Oracles, they confirm saturation. So nicely done. He gets eyes on drones being sent towards the 4th base. So Shameless, he knows that we're building up into a longer game. We're building up. This is an indication to expand, so 4th base on the way for Shameless. Securing himself on 4 bases. And we do see that Yakov, he's taking up even further. He's droning up even further, droning up to 80. So droning up towards 80, taking up into Hive. Did invest into the initial Roach Ravager, but he's not too committed here. Does move out, runs into the army. Again, this is a lot of supply invest into these Roaches, and so far they've yet to pay for themselves. There we go, we have 10 more Banelings. Oh, we just okay. Let's go. We just send it, baby. Okay. An interesting setup here because we got the infestation bit to take up into Hive, but no, we're just going for the all-in. The Queens are walking across the map. The Lingbane Roach Ravager as well. Young Yakov is moving in. He's going for the kill. Oh. Banelings, they don't quite make a pass. Nice connections here on the Adepts. Oh, going for High Templar. Nice connections. Gets one, gets two. Two High Templar go down. There's two Templar left. That was the final storm. In a couple of seconds, we'll have one more, but now Lings, they make it through. High Templar go down. And Young Yakov with a delayed 4-base all-in, getting droned up to 79. He was taking up a little bit further as well. But last, he caught Shameless with his pants down. GG gets called, and Young Yakov, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Interesting setup there from Young Yakov, because this did hit later than usual, right? If you were to go for a 3-base all-in, like Lingbane or Ravager all-in, this does hit a little bit earlier because you cut workers at 3-base saturation. Here, he droned up to 80, droned up to almost 4-base saturation, teched up a little bit further as well, so this was a later timing, and I believe that he was setting up for something longer. So was Shameless. Remember, what did Shameless do? He saw the drones. He saw the drones saturating and transferring over towards the 4th base. That told him to, oh, I can expand, I can tech up, I can get ready for something longer, and then bam, like Young Yakov shows up with more of an offbeat timing and offbeat all-in. GG all played. It's one of those builds, it's one of those builds that is technically inefficient because it hits a little bit later, but because it's inefficient or because it's hitting later, it means your opponent is less prepared because they believe that they've like survived a stage of the game and we're getting into a macro game. So cheeky build. Cheeky moves there by Young Yakov does take a lead in the series. Now we're loading into Incorporeal. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. We have the red Protoss himself representing Team Little Fairy. Down in the series, so we'll see if he can bounce back. It is Shameless. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player. The blue Zerg player himself, it is Young Yakov. When it comes to the build itself, when it comes to when he tells that I'll have to keep an eye out for later on, if you remember, was Roach Speed, right? We were pointing it out how it was kind of weird. I was like, it's kind of weird that we're getting Roach Speed and Melee at the same time and a Baneling Nest, when usually if we wanted to play macro, you'd be skipping the Roach Horn and you'd be skipping Roach upgrades and going straight to Hydras instead. You'd be a little bit more efficient in that sense. So it did catch us a little bit off guard as to the upgrades of choice in the setup, but I mean, after the first game, now we see why, right? It's because he did not intend for the game to go longer, or you could maybe argue that maybe it's just a more flexible style, because he did invest into the Infestation Pit, right? Like, he was thinking about a longer game, but maybe after getting scouted, after his drones were seen, he was like, you know what? I see an opportunity, I'll go for it. So, a flexible style there out of Young Yakov. We'll keep an eye out for that again. For now, welcome to Incorporeal. Incorporeal is a large map in the map pool, that is true, but unlike on Tokamak, we spoke about it, we brought it up, there is an entrance here in between the bases. So on Tokamak, we spoke about how it is easier to defend on 4 bases because of the proximity of the 3rd and 4th base, but also because of the lack of attack path in the center, right? Here it's open. Here you can attack the 3rd base, attack the natural, and attack the 4th as well. So there are multiple attack paths. The 4th base here on the low ground is also more open. It's wider. The entrance is wider. It's also on the low ground here. I mean, it's more accessible. It is more difficult to defend. What I will say, though, is that especially on Incorporeal, we have seen players be quite successful here in 4 base defense. You could argue there's more attack paths, that is true, but this top base is actually much more secure than the 3rd base of Tokamak. The bases on Tokamak are nowhere near as secure as this because of the high ground, right? Because of the ramp, because of the high ground, because of the choke point. Because of this, you can actually invest into the bare minimum to defend this 3rd base with some SimCity, with a handful of units. You can defend this quite easily, and your main army can focus their defenses here and focus their positioning at the natural and at the 4th base, right in between. So because of this fact, we have still seen a lot of mid to late game here on Incorporeal. It is still difficult to pull off full wins, but hey, that was the case from Tokamak. We'll see how Young Yakov will approach this. We shall see. Once again, Stargate opener. I don't really expect Shameless to deviate when it comes to the build. Stargate, 3rd base, into +1 and Blink, into Storm, is what we're expecting. It comes down to what Young Yakov gets into instead. How aggressive is he going to be? How committed is he going to be? And how safe is Shameless going to change his approach? How will he adjust after the openers? This is where this series comes into play, where young Yakov, he was droning, he was somewhat teching up, despite that still went for an all-in. Coming into game 2, make it look the same, but actually drone and saturate, and there's a high chance that Shameless would be nowhere near as greedy. He might delay his 4th base intentionally, he might take up on 3 bases faster instead, and stay on 3 bases a little bit longer because he'd be terrified of what happened in game 1 of it happening again. So the mind games might be the mind games. How much cake / what cake did you eat for birthday, Lance? I know it was a week plus ago. I did not have any cake. Smooge. Hey, you reminded me. I was like, oh, maybe I should get something like for my belated birthday. Maybe like next week or something. So now, two drones going down. We get some okay damage here with the Oracles. Lings, they move out across the map to try to apply pressure here to the 3rd. We have a Forge, Twilight Council, +1, and Blink going to be on the way. Standard follow-up. And this time, young Yakov is going lair first. Okay. Does go lair first. It's going to be a lair before Eva Chamber, before Roach Warren. There's a higher chance that this might lead into fast Hydras. We'll see. So just catching up with the chat. As the 4th base is going to be cancelled. I mean, so far, Shameless is all over this. He gets extra drone kills, he denies the expansion, he protects his 3rd base, he didn't lose any adepts. The efficiency here has been greater for Shameless, so a much cleaner game out of our Protoss player. Meanwhile, the lair is about to finish, we are taking extra gases, and as you can see, no Roach Warren. This should be a Hydroden or potentially even a Spire. But we're leaning more towards Hydras. Listening for years, first time chatting, watching as a family with a little one. Love your technical communication skills and the no slouching. Glad to see your channel growing. Yes. Posture check in the chat. Posture check. Ah, no. But thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Gracias, papi. Gracias. Hope you're taking care. And we expected it to be a Hydrogen, but no, it is indeed going to be Mutas. This is quite risky. This is quite risky here as we're devoting quite a lot into Mutas. That means no Roaches, delayed +1 melee as well. So there's going to be a win-win time here where young Yakov is vulnerable. And we'll see if Shameless can take advantage of that. So far, Shameless doesn't dip into the main. Did see the lair timing, so is aware that something is a little bit off. Did also see the entrance here into the natural. So is aware that, as we expected earlier, it's either going to be Hydras or Muta play. One or the other. Now Shameless is defending back at home. Setting up. Ooh, double robo on the way out of Shameless. Okay. Going for a very heavy ground army. Meanwhile, we have 11 Mutas on the way here for young Yakov. Thankfully, there are at least some Blink Stalkers. We have some side defense as well, but nothing in the main base, nothing in the natural. We do have an opening here available. Yakov can pop off. Oh! Gets a full scout there. Okay. We'll lose one of the Oracles, but now is fully aware of the Mutas. Instantly, cannons and shield batteries are on the way. Quick reactions here out to Shameless. Phoenix production has begun. And we did touch on it, but I mean, going into Muta play in PvZ, it's very, very risky here. If it goes unscouted, it can end the game, 100%. It can end the game, you can kill your opponents, you can just wreak havoc. But if it gets scouted, it doesn't take much here to shut this down. So it's high risk, high reward. Mutas they pick in, they get one probe so far. One crit for 2 mutas. Ay, ay, ay. Again, we did mention it. Mutas are so frail, they're so fragile. They're very mobile, of course, and they're amazing at harassing. But in a head-on fight, they're almost dead supply. I say almost because they still do a great job at like diving in and sniping High Templar and forcing out storms and taking down War Prisms as well. They can snipe high-tech units, high-value units. Yakovi rotates over. Gets spotted by the Adept. Shameless responds. Revelation on the mutas. That's going to be a Lodeling Bane. We're setting up, we're going for it. Bailing speed is done, plus on melee as well. There are some stasis traps on the high ground. Yakov, did he notice? That I'm not so sure about. Yeah, speaking of bailings, they roll in. Ooh, brutal stasis trap. Stasis goes off. Plenty of time to respond, and the Link main is completely shut down. Yakov is maxed out, but he's maxed out again with a harassing army. Ooh, another muta falls. Seeing almost another. Storm of the mutas. Going for the dive, and he gets every single High Templar. High Templar do go down. Mutas are softened up. There's still a couple of Archons remaining. But without any storms, I mean, did just warp in for more High Templar. Mucho gusto. Ah! Gracias, gracias. Once again, mutas deflected. Behind this, Hive is on the way. Based on the melee upgrades, technically we could try to go into something like Infestor Ultra. Okay, let's go. Now, this is a style that recently Lambo has been playing with a lot. I'll be honest, I haven't seen anyone do it in competitive play. I have seen Lambo do it on the ladder, true. But part of it is also because I haven't really seen much of Lambo in ZVP. But he has been experimenting a lot in this matchup with Mass Ultra and Microbial Shroud specifically. Mutas go for the backstab. They catch an Immortal, not bad. Immortal goes down. Shameless is committing in. He has 4 High Templar. He has at least 4 Storms. And the Ultras aren't ready yet. Neither are the Infestors. Seamus is moving in. Mutas are going for the dive. They're going for High Templar. There's 1, 2. Oh, and every Templar goes down. That was the final storm. 3. Going into 3. High Templar getting picked off. And again, it's all or nothing here for Shameless. He does have another Archon, true. Up to 2 Archons. And Yakov is just going for the base trade. Okay. It's a late reaction, late response. He cannot fight the main army. Goes across the map instead. Here comes that Ling Bane. But this army is so sturdy here. And shuts down the Banelings. Chasing down young Yakov. Again, Banelings that don't trade well against Immortals, Stalkers, or Archons. Oh. And Yakov turns around. He turns back around. If there weren't any Archons with this army, Lynx could completely shut this down. And here we have a couple of Ultras. The Immortals! Yeah, the Immortals are exposed. Nice lift of the Immortals. Oh my god! They're Shameless. He saves the Immortals a little bit longer, but alas, they still get shut down. And there's a recall. Yeah, Yakov holds. He holds. He cleans up the army. Ay, ay, ay. He did save the Immortals a little bit longer, but he did not target fire the Ultras. Seamus is forced back. He lost top right. Where are the mutas, by the way? There's still a couple of them left. Still a couple of mutas. But a very creative approach, of course, lifting the Immortals, saving them initially, but they still went down. We're now up to 8 Ultras. Very high ultra count. Now, I mentioned this before. What Lamb has been doing is not just ultra, it's a combination of ultra and Microbial Shroud. Speaking of, there it is. So it is in the back of Young Yakov's mind. Microbial Shroud is being researched. Infestors are on the way. He's almost there. And again, this is something that I've yet to really see in tournament play. But I'm ready for it. If we can get there. Like, the problem as well is that Yakov, this was never the initial plan. He's kind of like stumbling his way into Ultra Infestor. After very mixed results with the mutas. Shameless slowly taking his 5th base. There's a borrowed link to block. Skytoss is on the way, going carrier. So building up to 8 infestors. Microbial Shroud is almost done. As they dive on the Stargate. Bailey's rolling in. Up! Decent connections. Decent connections, but the buildings are saved. Shameless, he's holding on. Likewise, Young Yakov does have a high drawing count of 90, but he hasn't really been mining from these fringe bases for much longer, actually. Has the hatcheries, but has no mining. Has no saturation. Disruptors. Oh! They don't quite punish. Not quite. Oh, that's gonna be 1, 2, 3 ultras going down. Where's the support, by the way? The ultras are on their own. Yeah, they're on their own. They're being targeted. Microbial Shroud, it does catch some ultras, but not everything, and there are just so many immortals here. Yeah, the ultras are going down. A bit of a blundered assault here from Young Yakov. Again, ultras are okay. They're good, but you need some link support, some links, some bailings, something else to help tank. Ultras, they went in on their own. Okay, we got 5 more ultras on the way. Let's go. As he hits to right. They force out Narcon. Three more, soon to be 7 ultras. Now, what is scary here is that Shameless, he was able to defend, he was able to kill an expansion, and he's retaking top right. Right, this base is getting up and running. He's got cannon, shield batteries. He'll have a fresh mining base, which means he can max and sustain himself. Shameless rotates on the right hand side, getting to the middle line. Ultras are diving in. Oh, the High Templar. And a couple of storms. A couple of feedbacks as well. And not bad. Ultras, they hit the storms. Where are the Microbial Shroud? Where are the Microbial Shrouds? Yeah, brutal feedbacks. And with that, Shameless, he will take the fight. He can keep on pushing. And I underestimated the strength of the feedback, but hey, without Microbial Shroud, the ultras, they do nothing. It's one infestor left. Oh, it's a 7 more. 7 more infestors on the way. 10 more infestors. Infestors are good, but we need some ultras as well. We need some firepower. Here comes Shameless knocking down another base. Denying another expansion. It is so difficult for the Zerg player to maintain these fringe bases, whether it's center right, the middle bases, or even center left as well. are difficult to maintain. Nice around. Yakov is nearby. Seamus is nearby. It's up to 10 immortals. That's a lot of immortals back. There's that rotation. This base will fall once again. As we mentioned, Young Yakov just cannot expand. Specifically here on Incorporeal, it is so much easier for the aggressing player to just rotate. Rotate back and forth between all these 4 center bases. Raptors, they do snipe the mothership. Oh, let's go. Infestors are moving in. Show some incredible shout. Neural, okay. Neural's almost every single immortal. Catching out 7. Okay, 7 immortals getting caught out. But this also means they survive. And Neural's running out. Yeah, Neural does run out. Does around the initial 6 immortals. But they still trade. They still do trade. It's 8 immortals going down for 3 ultras. Still a better trade for Zerg. Yakov did get out. Share my package, share my. Just getting more infestors. Are we? We already have 9. Getting up to 12 infestors. Nice catch on the Phoenixes. Nice catch. We can see Yakov taking both center bases on the right hand side. He's up to 11 ultras. He's going for the expansion. Shameless out of position. Uh-oh. There's a recall. The Bailings! Bailings, they roll in. Ooh. Massive connections. And I believe the High Templar just got sniped. Oh, not quite. Templar actually survived. Yeah, they didn't get recalled. They didn't get recalled. They did not get recalled, so nice moves there by Shameless. Will lose the mineral line, but he's chasing. Does give chase. Going for the neural. The Archon, another Zealot run by. Denying more mining, another hatchery got taken out. Center base is almost done. And Shameless, he's double expanding. He's getting top right up and running, and also center left. Uh-oh. Nice storms. A little bit trigger happy. Oh god. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there. The ultras, they're all going to go down. We're down to 2, down to 0. Down to 0 ultras. Yeah, every ultra will fall. Massive pickups. Neuraling whatever we can, but the neurals will eventually run out. And GG gets called. Shameless, he will overwhelm. He will take the game and tie up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. There was a lot of potential, and I did appreciate that we saw this more mass ultra infestor style, which we have been, or I have been hearing about. First time I'm seeing it here when it comes to competitive play, but it did look a little bit messy. It did look a little bit rough around the edges. As we mentioned before, it didn't feel like this was the initial plan for Young Yakov. It felt like we stumbled our way into Ultra Infest, and even then it was just a little bit lacking when it came to the control, when it came to the execution. Multiple times you saw the Ultras move in on their own, or the Infestors move in on their own. Just a little bit of disjointed attacks there from Young Yakov. And GG, well played. With that, we're tied up and we're going to the ace match. Let's go. We're going to the ace match here, and again, that style has potential for sure. Like, we can see that, but yeah, I wasn't quite able to make it work. And not on Incorporeal. I mean, you saw the map come into play. It was just so difficult for Young Yakov to actually maintain an expansion. And here we go, spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg himself, it is Young Yakov. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss himself representing Team Little Fairy. It is Shameless. We go, and welcome one and all to Maganatha. Welcome to the largest map in the map pool. Because it's so large, this is the map where I would have appreciated Muta play, right? The Mutas, we didn't even get to talk about it, but the Mutas that got shut down last game, they did not get the damage that we're hoping for, so it was a shaky start for young Yakov. I would say this would be a better map for Mutas, but at the same time, at this point in the series, it feels a little bit too late for that. Ideally, you don't want to rely on Mutas 2 games in a row. So we saw them in Game 2. Coming into Game 3, we should be seeing something different. Yeah. For now, though, hatch gas full, standard opener here out of young Yakov. Now everything's looking normal. Once again, we'll keep an eye on the tech of choice. We'll see if we spend gas on a faster lair, faster roach warren, faster evo chamber. Depending on the tech, will kind of lead us down a different route. So eyes are on young Yakov. From Shameless, once again, we're expecting Stargates into a third base, into +1 blink. We've seen it twice now. I will say that last game, Shameless did have a cleaner early game. He was able to get 2 drone kills, able to get some scouting information, preserve the adepts. We'll see if we can do it again. Oh. As Yakov does take his third. Third base is on the way. Yakov, he does pull out of gas. Getting to link speed. From here, we're settling in. Adepts, they poke in, they get 1 drone kill, pulling away, nothing major. Oracle moves out. So from here, Shameless is now going to be expanding, claiming his third, and settling into a longer game. Ooh, meanwhile, Yakov is on the way though. Does rally across the map. As Oracle moves in, Lings, they do hit the third, and there are 2 Adepts in position. Lings, they come in for the cancel. Up! Hoping for the surround. Getting on top of the first Adept. Nice pickoff. Gets 1, gets 2. Very nice surrounds here. Both Adepts go down. Oracle is forced back home. As he does race all the way back. The second Oracle was delayed. It should have been out by now. We see why. Infestation. Sorry, Twilight Council. Okay. I was like, what's going on? Why did the first Oracle come back home? I'm curious if young Yakov caught on to that here, because this first Oracle shouldn't be here. The second Oracle should be here instead, and we see why. 2 more gates and a Twilight Council. This looks like Glaive Adepts. Overlord Scout doesn't see anything. There it is. Glaives are on the way. And young Yakov, he has a piece of the puzzle. The Oracle is what I mean. To take note of the Oracle. Now here comes the second. So far gets into the mineral line, gets 1, gets 2 drones. Ooh, we'll lose one of the Oracles though. Ay, ay, ay. And we can see Yakov, he's getting into +1 melee, and he's going for a safety Baneling Nest. Now, this is not the easiest way to defend, but it is a way, right? Typically, you can get into roaches, you can seal off your natural with some SimCity, and with a roach-based setup, you can shut this down, right? You can shut down Adepts, you can engage with them ahead of time. Going into a Ling Bane response, you're relying heavily on those Banelings. If they don't connect, then the Adepts can just wreak havoc. Now, for the time being, we do have some light pressure. These are just the first 4 adepts. The rest are banking up back at home. Ooh, forcing a recall, getting 1, getting 2, getting up 3. Oh my god. 3 adepts go down. That was a big misstep here from Shameless. That should not have happened, and that will weaken the push. Because now comes the Glaive Adept timing, and this was meant to hit with 3 extra adepts. So Shameless, he's down 3 adepts. He's now moving out. Banelings are morphing in. Here we go, here come those Banelings. The hope is to collapse on the army, to lock down the adepts. So far, playing it safe does pull away. And Shameless, he backs off. The Oracle does find a little bit of damage here, gets 2 drone kills, but by retreating, Shameless, this timing hasn't really achieved anything here. And remember, Glaive Adepts, they do not scale well into a longer game. He had to get damage done with this. Damage had to be done. We have a massive gateway, a massive gateway explosion. As 6 gates on the way, I believe that's going to be a 10-gate, 3-base all-in. We're going for a Soul Train. Let's go, baby, let's go. We have Sentries morphing in, Immortals morphing in as well. It's going to be all or nothing. 10 gateways, 3 bases, mass Adepts, Sentries, and Immortals. Now we see why Shameless backed off. We see why he retained his army to support to pull this off. So 3-base all-in. Now, thankfully, it's not Lingbane Hydra. If it was Lingbane Hydra, Yanyaku would just die. He would just die here and now. He did decide to throw down a Roach Warren behind his main base, so cheeky moves here, throws down a Roach Warren. He's going into Lingbane Roach Ravager. This is a very safe way to play. This means he has Biles to knock down those force fields. This is why if he had skipped Roaches and gone Lingbane Hydra, which is a more efficient army, which is more tech heavy, which lends well into a longer game, he would have nothing to answer for the force field. He'd have no Ravagers. He'd have no Biles. And here comes Shameless, moving in. Force fields are decent, but here come the Biles. And Banelings are rolling in. They will make it through. Not quite. That's a lot of force fields. Abalast is being delayed. Banelings are collapsing. Oh no! Massive connections! Yeah, they crash on and they shut down the Adepts. A couple of station traps do connect, but again, the Banelings did connect nonetheless. They were good enough. Zoning away those Immortals. Queen's moving in as well. And Shameless is running out of steam. He's running out of army. Stasis is about to run out. That's going to be Yakov's timing. He's getting ready for it. Shameless is aware. We have a force field, but again, they get bowed down. Banelings, they crash into the depths once again. Oof. Yeah, brutal connections. Cleans up the army, and the all-in has failed. The all-in has failed. There's no 4th base. There's no further attack. Blink just now began. Forge is on the way, so no +1, no blink, no bay, no splash damage, no nothing. And Yanyakov, he shouldn't back off in drone. He shouldn't back off. He should just keep on pushing, keep on going, and end the game. He is. Once again, rolling in. Bailey's into the middle line. Massive connections. And GG gets called. Yanyakov, he will take the series 2-1, advancing on to the semi-finals. Whew, GG. Hi, GG, well played. Congratulations, Yanyakov. He will claim the series. He will advance on. Again, a surprising build out of Shameless. We spoke about what he was doing, but the rationale behind it caught me off guard, especially on a larger map, right? Like, this is Maganatha. The likelihood of Shameless going into a macro build, going into a 3rd base, a 4th base, and building up a robust army and working towards Skytals is very high. It's very high that he would do so, which is most likely why he went for the all-in, because it's unexpected, right? Like, what's last thing he would expect is for me to go for an all-in on Maganatha, whereas this map is known for macro play. So it was meant to catch Yanyakov off guard. Yanyakov, it looks like he did take note enough to throw down a Roach Warren. He was able to react well enough against the Adepts as well. The Adepts, they got 0 damage, he got into Roaches, and we mentioned it. If he did decide to skip his Roach Warren, that would have been game. That would have been game then and there. He would have had no Biles, no Ravagers, no answer to the Adept Immortal Sentry, and it would have been a stronger push there from Shameless, but Yakov did decide to play safe and he will secure. GG. GG, well played. With that, Young Yakov does claim the series, and he will advance on to the semifinals. And your opponent, I mean, they just get harder and harder here. Up next is going to be the first semifinals match of the broadcast. It's going to be a best of 3 between Classic and Young Yakov. Oh boy. Here we go. So again, Young Yakov, he was able to prove his mettle against Shameless. But Classic is one of the best Protoss players in the world, if not the best Protoss player in the world. Oh boy. Not an easy opponent. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the blue Protoss player. The blue Protoss, the South Korean Protoss representing Virtus Pro. It is Classic. And spawning in the top, or in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player. We have the red Zerg. It is Young Yakov. Here we go. So the time being, we're going to be settling in. So far, Hatch Gas Pool, standard open out of Young Yakov, and welcome to Persephone. Persephone is one of the more quote-unquote standard maps in the map pool. I mean, I say standard map. Obviously, it has its quirks, right? Healing pad on the right-hand side, a gold base on the right-hand side as well. Shorter rush distance by air, true. But when it comes to the expansions, they're very isolated from each other. You have very specifically your half of the map and your opponent's half of the map. There's so much dead space in between here, just cutting the map in half, that we often do see longer and later games, especially in other matchups, where you can cut the map in half, you can max macro out, and then typically both players do fight for the gold base. The gold base in the center is kind of the most contested expansion on the map, if we get there. Now, when it comes to Classic style, amongst the top Protoss players, amongst players like Max, Hero, and Classic, Classic is maybe arguably the most macro out of all of them. What I mean by that, when I say macro, Classic, he is so willing against Terran and against Zerg. If he sees an opportunity, if he sees that you're backing off, you're giving him time, he will throw down the Stargate, he'll throw down a Fleet Beacon, he will rush into Skytoss. So give him any opportunity, and Classic, he's one to throw down and to tech up into Skytoss, into that maxed out army, and just rush into that kind of game state. And again, it's something he does against Terran, he does against Zerg. I should also emphasize that's not the initial plan, that's not like the purpose of like his style or his build. It's just that if he sees a window, if he sees his opponent backing off and giving him room, then he will go for it. Otherwise, he will be in your face and be aggressive. Classic is not as diverse as Hero, for example. Hero, he's a lot more diverse in the mid-game. Classic less so, but by no means is he a passive player. He's not a Showtime. He's not that extreme. I'd say Classic is more opportunistic. For now, though, we do have our Stargate into Oracle. We'll be moving out across the map. Yakov investing quite heavily here early on. 14 Lings on the way. Oh my god. So a heavy commitment into Lings. With this, the goal should be to catch the Adepts and to try to threaten the third base. As it's going to be 18 Lings in total. Again, a big investment. Yakov is moving out. He wants those Adepts. And we'll see if we can get them. We'll see if he can. Adepts, they race back home. Lings are moving in. Oracle is deflected, taking a lot of damage. And Lings are going for the expansion. Up. They do not catch the Adepts. They do back off. Despite that, a lot of Zerglings. And one Adept should fall, at least one. Maybe even all three, actually. It gets 1, 2, up. Barely all 3 Adepts. Doesn't force a cancel, but does force the Oracle to stay back. As a reminder, this is the second Oracle. Early Twilight Council at a Classic, though. Hello. Okay. Very early Twilight Council. This is looking similar, not the same, but similar to what Shameless just did in the Ace match. Show us those Glaive Adepts. So 4 gateways, Twilight Council. Looks like Glaives. Oh, going for a Blink instead. Now, a couple of things here as your Overlord goes in for a Scout. No Forge. Remember, there is no Forge here for Classic, so lack of Forge, early Blink. This, oh, I should say, delayed Forge, early Blink. This is typically indicative of a style that does hit and does punish the 4th base of the Zerg. So, Young Yakov getting his 3rd base, his 4th base has just now begun. Because Blink finishes so early, it allows Classic to push out early to apply pressure and to threaten the 4th base of Young Yakov. The downside of this opener, the downside of this build, is late upgrades, late Forge, late +1. But so far, 5 drones have gone down. A nice damage here from Classic. This build from Classic also does keep you safe against early all-ins, just because Blink will be done in time to defend. It will be done earlier than normal. Oh, as Classic, he is quick to take up. Okay, rushing into the Temple Archives. Which means we are skipping Warpins. So Classic, he does choose to skip Warpins. He's rushing into Temple Archives, into Storm. It looks like this was more of a defensive stance, a defensive build. As you mentioned, if there was an all-in coming his way, like a German taxi, then Classic would be fine against it. But here, as you mentioned, he's skipping Warpins, getting extra gateways, working towards Temple Archives, into Storm. Let's go. Oh, which means this 4th base is safe. There's Storm on the way. Now, coming into this kind of game state here, I actually prefer Young Yakov's position. I do think that he's going to be looking a little bit more efficient here. Oh, and he's going for the Spire. Okay. Okay. As I mentioned before, Stalkers, they move out, but this is a much later move out from Classic. He will apply pressure to the 4th base, but he should not kill. He shouldn't. Yeah, Lings, they're coming from behind. We attempt to surround. The Queens, oh no! They run in. One Queen does fall. Does catch out 2 Stalkers. Nice stasis. Stasis traps are going to be going off. More Lings coming for the surround, catching out the Stalkers. And that was how many? That was 4 Stalkers going down. Better trades, better pickups here from Young Yakov. And again, he saves the 4th base. Does not go down. Classic is Punisher applying pressure. And so far, the Spire is hidden. Now, on the one hand, yes, Classic has seen all these Zerglings. That is true. He's seen all the Zerglings, but in his mind, it could still be Ling Bane Hydra. Could still be Hydras. Nice little pickups. Gets 2 probes. Classic, he does reinforces, applying pressure. This time with Storm, he wants to break that 4th base. And Ling muted to defend. This is going to be a tough hold for Young Yakov. Okay, no Roaches, no Hydras. Storm tries to zone away. Oh, nice. Nicely done. Gets over the High Templar. Forcing out more Storms. And I believe that was the final Storm. And no Storms left. The hatchery's under fire. Defensive mutas against this, it's not going to be easy here. In Classic, he may just, yeah, he will break the expansion. 4th base goes down. Mutas are amassing. And mutas have been revealed. They've been revealed. Phoenix production has begun. We're diving on the Stalkers. Archons are being zoned away. A nice blink. Gets 1. Oh god, yeah, not an easy trade here. Gets both Archons. Yakov does hold on. But we need a counterattack. We have to get something done across the map. A second Stargate's on the way. Mass Phoenix is on the way. Yakov, you gotta send it. Goes in, takes down the cannon. Oh. Catch you out of Phoenix. Yeah, as you can see here, the mutas, I mean, being hunted down. Nice control with the Phoenixes. They bully the mutas. There's also, I mentioned in the previous series, how for muta play, like, it's so imperative, so important that they go unscattered. It's so difficult to make them work if not. We can see Yako switching into Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager. Interesting. Oh, Lings, they flood in. The ones that are what? Hero? Hero, you're not meant to be here, baby. Aye. Lings, they flood into the natural. They get some pro damage. Nice hold position micro. It's 4 workers so far. 5 probes, a stalker. Maybe a couple of zealots. Some decent damage here. Classic, he still has momentum. Yakov, he's maxing out. Now again, he's done with muta play. He's going into Ling. I assume Ling, Bane, Roach, Ravager. Yeah, Baneliness is done. Here come the Banelings. Yakov is maxing out. And depending on how he engages, he can surround this army. There are only 2 Templar. So 2 Templar, limited storms. Ooh, the first storm is brutal. High Templar, they dive on the High Templar. They get dived upon. They survive. The music get completely shut down. A little bit lackluster with the mutas. Storms a zone away. And Classic, he backs off. Kills the expansion, gets half the mineral line. Oh. Meanwhile, no reaction. Classic. Yeah, no reaction. Will lose probes himself. 14 probes going down. Yakov. Getting killed probes at the natural. Baneling run by on the 4th base. Not too bad. Oh. So it was brutal to see all those mutas being thrown away, but, you know, we're getting into Hive Tech. Vipers are on the way. Corruptors as well for the anti-air. Nice figures here with the Phoenixes. Bullying the Corruptors. Same time, Yakov does catch an Archon. Okay. Lings, they'll force a cancel. Banelings once again going for the mineral line. They're rolling in. They're trying to at least. They break their way through. Nice storm with the Ravagers, but once again, the mineral line goes down. Lings, they flood in. They delay Classic. They buy time. And young Yakov, he's going to have time to max out. Oh, still losing a lot of his army, though. Still losing his Roaches and Ravagers. They killed 20 probes. And this means that Classy cannot sustain these losses. Cannot sustain. Yakov, thankfully, he has bottom right. Classic is still pushing in. Does go for the powerbomb. Oh my god. Phoenixes, they stack up. And here we go, Yang Yakov. If he can survive this, then he can take this game. But oh god, there's just so much Protoss. There's so many storms. Speaking of storms, they pull off very nice feedbacks on the Vipers. And Classic is just barreling on through, and this army cannot be dealt with. We have 10 more Roaches in production. Another storm on the ramp. Another storm. And Yakov just cannot engage. Does take down one of the Archons. But GG gets called in. Classic, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, shout out to young Yakov. It did go down here, but he did pose a threat. He was able to hold his own. He had some nice moments here when it came to his run-bys, his counterattacks. Unfortunately, once again, we saw it happen against Shameless as well. Muted play was unsuccessful. Trying to go into muted against Shameless, that's the game that he lost. Here as well against Classic, it's just really brutal to try to make work. You are so heavily reliant on not being scouted, and the Spire didn't get scouted, but he had to reveal his mutas defensively. He had to reveal them defensively, so Classic had plenty of time to react and respond with Phoenixes, with a second Stargate. He was secure back at home. Again, there were moments where he was losing probes to Ling run-bys and Bailing counterattacks, that is true, but the main army fights were still heavily in favor of a Classic. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting into game number 2. Oh, thank you, Factor, and thank you, Hydra, as well. Gracias, gracias. Also, welcome back home. Welcome back home, Hydra. I'm assuming you have returned to the Netherlands. The most recent Epic Land champion. Ay, ay, ay. Este Hydra. But here we go. We're getting into game number 2 and spawning in the top right-hand corner. Top right-hand corner here of Tokamak. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss leading the series 1-0 for Virtus Pro. It is a Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself. It is young Yakov. Este Hydra. But for those that are curious, it was last weekend. It was a very busy weekend of StarCraft, not just with SC for All, but also with Epic Land. Epic Land was an offline event happening in the UK, which Hydra did attend, and was able to barely claim as well. So some stiff competition, but shout out to Hydra. Big shout outs. But yeah, I would say that Epic Land is kind of like the next event that I hope is able to garner a little bit more attention, right? Like, we spoke earlier, it's going to be a bit of a side tangent. Hatchgas Spool, standard open at a young Yakov, likewise, Gate expanded, Cybercore at a Classic, everything's looking normal. Welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak is more standard, is more known for longer and later games. So far, everything's looking normal. But we were discussing this previously, talking about how Cheeseadelphia was a very niche offline event in the Americas, and didn't really get much attention or much eyes on it. Like, obviously we casted the past 3 years of Cheeseadelphia. We would always be there for the event, but due to the prize pool increase and due to the collaboration with the SC Historian, Rotterdam casted the event. TKL, Indie, they casted the event as well. I think Steadfast, he also co-streamed. We, of course, were a part of it, but it had a lot more attention, a lot more eyes, a lot more streamers on the event as well, to grow the event. I mean, obviously the boosted prize pool does help with that as well. But the SC for All, I want to say, was very successful. I would hope to see something like that happen to Epic Land in the future as well. Like, Epic Land, just like Cheeseadelphia, has been running for a long time, right? Has been running for a very, very long time. For many, many years, is a very regular event in the European region. And I would hope that eventually something similar happens, where some of the European content creators, like I just mentioned, like Rotterdam, or the other language streams like Indie, like TKL, are able to divert their attention and let people be made more aware. As the people working at Epic Land are very passionate, very passionate. This is where we have to step in. We have to. I would if Epic Land wasn't at such a brutal time slot for us. It's not easy to stay up for. But now though, Reps, they do shade in. They do get shut down. Nice defense here by Young Yakov. Here comes the instant counterattack. Moving out towards the third base. Classic back at home. Just playing standard. Oracle into a third. Oh my god, and we are rushing into a lair. That is a sub 4-minute lair timing. That was what, 350-ish? 350, 345. I mean, they've got shut down. Oracles are stuck at home to defend, so lack of scouting, lack of information here. Classic is playing blind. Classic doesn't see. Like in general, it's not too difficult to scout the lair, but specifically because the depths just went down, because the Lings were harassing the Oracles, they've not gotten into the main. Got 2 more gases on the way. Now, based on the lair timing, we have some options here. This could be the beginning of something like 2 base Muta if we do get another gas geyser. Otherwise, we can be getting ready here for a Ling Queen Nidus play, which I haven't seen in quite some time in this matchup. Where are we spending our gas? Are we going for the Spire? Or are we going for something else? Oh, okay. Going for not the Spire, going for the Hydra Den. Okay, so very fast Hydras here out of Young Yakov. So we're going for an early Hydra timing. Very early. I would imagine this is the setup for a 3-base all-in, and if they bust him between the bases, Oracles as well. Oh, bit of miscontrol there. The first Oracle does fall. Lings, they get a full surround as well. Oh my god. And that's being thrown away. Stasis Trap will complete, but will not connect. And with that, a pretty solid defense here by Young Yakov, losing 4 drones, but killing what? Killing 5 Adepts, killing 1 Oracle. There's 2 Oracles remaining. At least he scouts the lair, he scouts the Hydra Den. Classic losing another Oracle. At least he's aware of what's coming his way, but just because he knows doesn't mean he can stop it. There's a cancellation. Lings it into the mineral line. No defense here. The probes are going to be going down. Oof. Brutal damage. Losing 5 probes here in the mineral line. 6 probes even. 7, 8. Oh my god. Gets all the probes. 8 probes go down. Classic is crippled. And again, we're getting ready for that Hydra timing. Hydra speed is on the way. Hydra range going to be on the way as well. Remember, no Eva chamber, no upgrades. 4th base just for Larva. And Young Yakov, he's about to send it across the map, going for his 3-base all-in. 64 workers. 4th base just for Larva. On 5 gases. And it's going to be a tough hold. Going to be a very difficult defense here for Classic. So rallying, Hydras as well. Back at home, Storm is not yet done. There's the NG overcharge. Here come the Banelings. It's going to be close. Storm is finishing up in 10 seconds. Looks like it will be done in time. Just barely. And the Storms, they need to connect. Banelings rolling in. Oh, a bit of a late storm. Yeah, late storm. Banelings. Oh no, they catch the High Templar. They catch the Zealots as well. Yeah, late reaction, late storm. And with that, Young Yakov, he's done it. He has done it. He has broken the base, broken the expansion. Catching out the Archon, the Prism, the High Templar. GG gets called, and Young Yakov, he will tie the series up 1-1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, everything just fell apart there for Classic. Losing the Adepts, losing the Oracles, failing to scout early on the lair timing. By the time he realized what was going on, he lost everything. He lost the Adepts and Oracles, so he lost 8 probes across the map as well. As a result, just getting punished for overextending. And that led into the win. That led into everything just falling apart. GG, well played. We're getting into game number 3. Let's go. So a cheeky build here by Young Yakov, and the stars did align. Not just Classic failing to scout early on, but also losing his initial army. And everything snowballed out of control. And here we go, we're getting into the ace match. Game 3 here of our semifinals match. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the Blue Protoss player, the Blue Protoss himself, representing Virtus Pro from South Korea. It is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Zerg player tying up the series 1-1 and forcing the ace match. It is Young Yakov. Here we go. So again, a very cheeky setup last game at a Young Yakov. Remember, he went for a 350 lair timing, if not slightly earlier. Classic had the late scouts. He lost his initial harassing adepts, the oracles, the workers at his third base. It all just fell apart. So it's on Classic to tighten up. Gotta tighten up the early game. So now we're settling in. Now Class just being as annoying as possible, trying to force some inefficient mining. Being a nuisance. Here, Classic, he should be getting his Stargates, pylon in the main. Into his third. Now, as we're leading into Maganath, again, a much larger map of the map pool, we do expect to see Classic working towards his third base, Stargate, Oracle. We don't really expect much deviation here from Classic. We don't really expect much aggressive follow-ups either. I mean, I guess he could try to pull a Shameless and try to catch young Yakov off guard, but I don't think there's really much need to. Remember, Shameless, he went for a 3-way all-in Soul Train after the opener. With mixed success. Or it just fell on its face, really. Nice pylon block. Once again, Clash just being as annoying as possible. There's a cancel, Adept. Ooh, 1 second too late. The idea there, the hope was to delay the expansion until the Adept arrives, shade in, kill the drone, and delay even further, but alas, 1 second too late. Yakov expands. And again, that could have been so much worse if the Adept was there 1 second sooner. Or if the pylon had lasted 1 extra second as well. Adept's taking him into the shade, getting 1 drone so far, only 1. Not quite worth it here. Nice defense by young Yakov, instant counterattack. He's headed towards the third base. And you can see the Classic, he has to keep his Oracle at home. He has to keep it at home. The reasoning for that is, of course, he just lost the Adept, so he knows that links are coming. Also means the 0 Oracle harass across the map, and young Yakov, he could hide some tech here. This time last game, Yakov, he already had a lair on the way. Early Twilight Council, which gets counted. But that is a very early Twilight Council, late Forge at a Classic. If you remember, we saw something very similar in Game 1, and I was convinced it was Glaive Adepts. I was like, oh, okay, early Twilight Council, gateways as well, looks like Glaive Adepts, but instead he went for really early, really safe Blink. He went for Blink as an opener, early on, into Delayed Forge. Yep, there it is. Delayed Forge, it looks like early Blink. It looks like the same build we saw in Game 1. Looks like. Meanwhile, Lair first. Okay, this Lair timing is not as fast as last game, but Lair first nonetheless. Lair before Eva Chamber, before Roach Warren, before Baneling Nest. Meanwhile, there it is. Blink is on the way. Temple Archives as well. Unlike Game 1, so this is a very similarly timed Blink timing, but this is a much earlier Temple Archives. Much earlier. Meanwhile, the Oracle does go for the dive. Gets 7 drone kills. 1 Oracle does go down. The other does barely get away. Whew. Classic pulls out. Classic, he does pull out in time. Yakov going into Ling Hydra, or Ling Bane Hydra. Hygiene hidden a little bit further back. But again, Storm is almost done at this point. It's halfway done. Right on, his Banelings are waddling in. They head for the mineral line. This time the boys do pull away. Oh, Jesus. They try to. Yeah, they try to pull away. A couple of probes are going to fall. Losing 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Nice. If it wasn't for those Lings target firing, of course, that would have been only 1 probe falling. Thankfully, up to 4 probes do go down. So we get some damage, but that was a big investment for young Yakov. There's a lot of Banelings. More than 2 it doesn't show, as Banelings that detonates, they don't show in the Universal stat. Not sure here either. These are the 2 Banelings that were killed and not detonated. Oh. Ooh. The Oracle barely gets away, 1 shot away from falling. Yakov, he does run up to 4 bases, somewhat. He gets up to half saturation at his 4th. Building up more Lings, more Hydras. And Yakov being hyper committed. He is moving out. Getting ready for his push. And yeah, we're not droning. We're not droning up. We have not droned in quite some time. Cutting workers at 76. Again, half saturation at his 4th base, and he is massing up. Meanwhile, Classic, we spoke about this at the start of the series. When he sees an opening, he does go into Sky Toss, so he's on 4 bases. Sky Toss is on the way. And Yakov, can he punish? Can he punish the greed? Oof. Brutal Storm. When that Templar goes down, Ling Bane into the mineral line. Classic does react. Oh my god. Jesus. Did clump up for a moment there. 6 probes do fall, but he will hold. He'll defend. Classic, so far so good. Does defend, does keep up. So far he's keeping up here against Yakov. Keeping up, we do have some carriers on the way. Yakov, he does commit into the mineral line. Oh, gets a couple of probes. Not bad, despite the split here. 18 probes still go down. Now, what's scary? Oh, as he even catches the High Templar as well. Oh my god. Yeah, 3, almost 4 Templar falling. Classic being torn apart, losing probes, losing high-tech units as well. High Templar and probes. But what is scary is the Sky Toss. Like, we are slowly building up that carrier count. Yakov getting his Hive, getting his Lurker in. I would say that thanks to all this damage being done, though, Yakov is not in a bad position. His drone count is a little bit low, so he's late to drone up. That is true. He is late to drone, and likewise, tech-wise, it feels like he's 1 step behind. 1 step behind as carriers are already building up. But we'll see if we can pull this off. Setting up. Again, he's almost maxed out on Ling Bane Hydra. He has to break one of these expansions. Speaking of, Banelings are rolling in. Oh. Roll in. They take down 2 High Templar. They force in an Archon. Not bad. There's 2 Templar left. And 2 Templar left. 1 Templar remaining. Does end one of the storms. Nice 2 carriers. Very nice damage here by Young Yakov. Zones away the ground army. Takes down 2 carriers. At the same time, Banelings roll in. Oof. Classic is keeping up. Classic, he is keeping up. But the carrier count was reset. And he would need a Spire. Yeah, Spire is now on the way. I will say this is a bit of a late Spire here for Young Yakov. He's on a solid drone count. He needs more bases. Needs better saturation. But he has to keep the pressure up. We cannot back off back. Cannot back off, cannot allow Classic to recover. You have cannons on the way, shield batteries are on the way, Classic is turtling up. And Yakov has to stop him soon. He's going for a split push. Lurkers have arrived. He's got his Lunkers. We can see Classic keeping up with the main army. This run-by has potential, but that's a lot of cannons and Storm. And the reason why I'm emphasizing that Young Yakov has to get damage done soon is just because the army of Young Yakov doesn't really scale too well into a longer game. Like, he needs a Spire, he needs Spire upgrades, he needs Corruptors, Spellcasters. Does move in. Oh god, brutal storms. Yeah, storms, they shut down the Banelings. Lings are cleaned up. And Classic, he's holding. He's holding, not just holding, he's even diving on top of the Lurkers. Getting 2 Lurkers, ay ay ay. Expensive run by here from Young Yakov. Corruptor production has begun. And this is not good enough. And not good enough in terms of damage. There's 6 carriers, 4 High Templar. Classic is maxed. Classic will soon move out. Now, because Young Yakov's army is a little bit lacking here, it is crucial, it is important that he's able to engage ahead of time and, say, abduct 1 carrier. Like 1, 2 carriers, pull away, build up, and just rinse and repeat. And a head-on fight, I do favor Young Yakov, and sorry, I do favor Classic, I meant to say, and he does recall. And recalls in. Observes with the army. Ooh, brutal feedback. Storm of the Lurkers. And Young Yakov, he will lose everything here. Corruptors to get 1 carrier. I just won. Yeah, only 1 carrier goes down. Every Lurker falls. And that was an expensive loss here for Young Yakov. Ay, ay, ay. As we mentioned, in a head-on fight, Classic, he was favored. It was on Young Yakov, as we were trying to emphasize, to like poke in and to get a couple of key units at a time, right? Like 1 carrier, 2 carriers, a couple of High Templar. Just because he has yet to perfect his army. And here comes Classic. Takes on top right. Classic waiting for reinforcements. He'd also have a base recall. Remember, that was the mothership recall. There it is. A bit of a later recall though, so he will still lose 7 probes. Classic does defend. As well. Corruptors, they go for the die. They do get the mothership. But how many carriers do we have? 9. 9 carriers. Ay, ay, ay. That's crazy. Against only 2 Lurkers. Against a higher Lurker count or a Broodlord count, that's when Tempest are required. But, I mean, if you don't have to worry about siege units, then you can just commit to carrier. That's fine. He's got 2 more on the way. Going to be 11 carriers. He's crazy, Pappy. And again, at this point, Classic is more than recovered. Like Classic, he's in a very commanding position ever since that fight that occurred here towards the top side. Ever since he swallowed up Young Yakov. Classic is rotating. He's posturing. And we got 10 lunkers on the way. Let's go, papi, let's go. And yo, a big shout out to CranKy. Papi, gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a great move, by the way. Hope everything is nicely set up. Gracias, papi, gracias. Bienvenidos todos. Thank you, stream. Aquí estamos haciendo en inglés, no en español, pero gracias, gracias. Bienvenidos. Ojalá que tu stream te ve bien. Muy bien. Oh, so do get a couple of reductions here. Getting one, getting two corruptors. Or carriers even. Carriers, they survive, they pull away in time. Ay, ay, ay. Classic pulls away. Again, he has 11 carriers. And Jakub, he still cannot take a head-on fight. He's getting up to 21 corruptors, that will help. But of course, we have Archon support, Storm support as well for the Skytoss. Lings they attempt to run by. Storm with the Lurkers. Well placed. Oof. Lurkers, they take a lot of damage. Classic is rotating in. The Lings, they do break through, actually. They get 12 probes. I mean, that's great and all, but what about the main army? What about the main push? Oh. Lands a storm. Does land that storm. Likewise, another storm coming into the mineral line, and brutal connection. We do get one abduction. Gets one carrier, but alas, Classic is not being stopped. He's just rotating over, taking down another expansion, another hatchery. Lurkers, they come in from behind, into the storms. Mass feedbacks. One powerbomb lands, just the one. And this is it for the Corruptors. Oh my god, they're taking so many hits, sir. So many hits, so much damage from the Archons. They do pick off some of the carriers. And they may even get... Oh, never mind. There are so many Archons on the ground. The Corruptors, they cannot engage. Not into this many Archons. Oh no, he's trying for it. Yeah, he goes for it. And with that, he will lose every single Corruptor. Down to 2, down to 0. 0 Corruptors left. GG gets called. And Classic, he will take the series 2-1. Advancing on to the Grand Finals. GG. Whew. Hi, papi. GG, well played. Congratulations, Classic. He will take the series. He will advance on. Again, young Jakub, he was looking pretty good in the first half of this game. He was knocking down mineral lines, knocking down armies as well. Young Jakub, he had some nice moments in the first half, but we spoke about it. We spoke about how he had to keep that pressure up because he was being outscaled tech-wise when it came to the quality of his army, right? As Classic was building up Skytoss, he was still stuck on a lair tech army himself, and we saw it all culminated in one bad fight, referring to the moment that Classic recalled his army. He recalled his army behind the forces of young Jakub with his mothership. He was able to collapse in, surround the army. He was able to reset the lurker count. There were like 11 lurkers there, all the hydras, everything crumbled. GG. GG, well played. In one fell swoop, Classic took all the momentum away from young Jakub and took it from there. So congratulations here to Classic. And with that, we have our first finalists. We have our first finalists here making it to those grand finals. And we're going to be cutting to a break. We're getting ready for our second semis. It's going to be a best of 3 between Creator and Percival. We're going to be going on a short break. When we come back, we'll have our semis and then the grand finals thereafter. See you soon, Pat. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. We just wrapped up with the initial quarterfinals and semifinals match. Now we're here with the upper semis. Again, Classic is the first player to make it through into the grand finals, and who will face off against Classic? He had a very intense series against Yang Yako, very intense. But now we're here to determine is it going to be a PvP or PvT finals as we jump into Creator versus Percival. Let's go. Let us go. Game 1 is going to be on Maganatha. We are loading on in. Bearing in mind, if you're curious as to where there are some of our regulars, I mean, Bjorn is rarely regular when it comes to these tournaments, but he's over in Canada, of course, for Stellafest. Likewise, so is Zound. But we are missing some of the other regulars, like Hero, for example. Regardless, we are jumping in and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. It is a Creator. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the other South Korean player, the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran. It is a Percival. Here we go. As we are settling in. Creator stream on Twitch. We did raid Creator yesterday. Yes, he has been streaming. He has been streaming. Did raid him yesterday, if you recall. Or last night even, I should say. But here we go. So far we are going to be settling in, and we'll see how our players will approach this. Again, Percival, he's been improving so much this year, especially in this matchup. I would argue that Percival's strongest matchup is Terran versus Protoss. He has some very aggressive builds, but in recent times, along with other Terran players, of course, we have been embracing some longer and later games, having some more tame openers here, setting up into a third base and setting up to a 4-base economy as well. So we'll see how Percival will adjust his approach here on Maganatha, as this is a larger map. So far, economic start, going for a Rax expand. Does go for the Rax expand. We'll set up on the low ground. So economic start here by our Terran. And Creator just being as annoying as possible. Will delay the CC. Today, I mean, I guess technically today, because I think we rated him at like 1 AM. So technically. Would have been around midnight in Korea. As now Percival does scout nearby, he does check his third base location, fourth base location, and other third base location as well, looking for proxies, looking for pylons, making sure that there's no shenanigans here for Creator as he's setting up in the low ground with his bunker. So again, economic opener here by Percival. Following this up, no Reaper either, so 0 scouting information. Again, it's quite common to delay your early scouting, so no SCV scout, no Reaper scout is going into Reactor to Hellion for a much later scout from Percival. If Creator was doing something more devious, then it'd be a very delayed scout here. That's also why Percival was at least scouting his nearby locations, just to make sure there was no proxy, because he has no other information to work with. So he had to make up for that with scouting nearby. Oh, thank you, Druid. Thank you. Feliz aniversario. Ah. Gracias, gracias. So we have our attempted hallucination scout. It's going to be, zoned away. Zoned away by the Widow Mines. Percival does pick up, does head across. And Creator, he's now aware at least. He's aware of the drop, aware of the commitment. Hellions, they do slip in behind the mineral line, getting 3, getting up to 4 probes, not bad. 4 probe kills. Getting a full scout of the main. We can see it's just 3-gate blink. Oh, sorry, 2-gate blink even. So Creator cutting corners, being greedy. Mind shots going up. Decent splits. That's going to be 7 kills in total. 4 from the Hellions, 3 from the Widowmines. 1 more Widowmine into the main base, but Creator, he does take notice. Does pull away. It's 8 probes going down. The Widowmine's going to be saved? No shot. Up! One more volley! Oh my god. Widowmines, they barely try to get away. 1 shot away from going down. Does he go for another unload? Oh, does boost the safety. Whew, does boost away to safety here. 8 probe kills. Bearing in mind the Creator, this build was meant to be greedy, was meant to be more economic, but he's taken so much damage here. Really, this will help even things up. But ideally, he wants to take a lead. Did want to take a lead here. As Creator did cut gateways, he cut gases, delayed his robo, all in favor of the third. So there's a better position for Percival, much better. And the pressure's on Creator. So Blink is done. Blink is complete. Gets 1 Marine. Just 1 Marine though. So he does have to pull away. Percival building up his bio army. And Creator working towards Storm. Nice target firing. Gets superbs. This is all adding up. Stalkers, they go for the dive. They're going to get punished though. Gets the tank, but we'll lose 2 Stalkers. 2 Stalkers go down. And we're waiting for the eventual move out. Percival, he is stuck at home until Stim finishes. Stim, combat shields. Waiting for all the upgrades. Even then, he may not commit, actually. He already has his 3rd CC. He may just play it slow. May just take it slow. And build up into the mid-game instead. Now zoning back the army. Creator loading up, head towards the main. Nice positioning. Tank volley goes off. Up! Oh my god. Nice tank shots where the Raven is sniped. Creator slowing down the push. Percival did overextend. At the same time, Zealot dropping to the main base. Getting some damage. 3 ACVs. Some kind of damage. Likewise, as Percival moves out, Creator once again another backstab. This time though, getting into the mineral line properly. Okay. 7 SCVs, doesn't lose a single Zealot. Oh, does go further in though. The Vikings will shut this down. As now Creator does take some losses. We'll lose all the charge lots. Let's go down. As Percival rotates. Remember, Storm is complete. We now have Colossus on the way. So Creator, he is building up more splash damage. But it's been a very kind of shaky back and forth so far. As Percival does stim in. We're still holding onto those storms. Speaking of, there's first, not bad. Connects with the Marines, zones away, buying time for the Colossus. And Percival, he pulls away. He pulls away. What do we have on the way? 4th CC. 4th CC. Ghost Academy. We spoke about this earlier, but it's very common nowadays, or much more common, for Terran players to not be as aggressive or as assertive, to gain control, back off, expand, and build up in towards a maxed out army. So we're settling in. Settle in. What are we missing? Percival, I'm sure he'll soon throw down the second starport into more Viking production. SimCity is lacking, and I will say that here on Maganatha, because the map is so large and because the entrances are so wide, it does take a lot of SimCity to secure yourself. That'll be working against Percival. Oh, another storm lands. Yeah, storm connects, Zells a rush on in, and tanks are going to be going down. Oof. There's another storm, and so far a better engage here for Creator. Of the army. Percival, he has to pull away. And this is where Creator has to make a choice. Do we start to mass expand and invest into another robo, get ready for a longer and later game? Do we commit? So he's still shocking around, has a very Marauder heavy composition. We spoke earlier about just trying to wall up. We have a wall of sensor towers. Oh, we have the salvage. I haven't seen that in a while. Oh yeah, they can salvage. True. Forgot about that. There's the thing. So far, Storms, they once again do attempt to zone. Percival pushing into Colossus though. Massive swipes going off. Percival should not be this aggressive. He will be losing Ghosts. He has some expensive losses there. Losing 1, 2, losing all 3 Ghosts. Ay. Big losses for Percival. Again, he should not have been out here. Posturing is one thing, but remember, we're building up towards a longer game. Percival, he has to get out of here. Let's pull away, another massive storm. Creator, he has to be careful. Does pull back. He will lose his Colossus. No more splash damage. And without that, he has to get the hell out of here. And now it's Creator's turn. With Zealot reinforcements, though, he can commit. He can still keep pushing. But he needs more Warpins. Once again, running out of Chargelots. Running out of Zealots. Snipe goes off. There's a recall. That's a brutal recall, though, as he will lose almost every Immortal. Initially, Creator, he was taking some better fights, some better trades, and really chased the army too far out. Creator, he got too excited. Percival gaining map control, securing his 4th base. Now we have a 5th and a 6th CC on the way. And Creator taking up into Skytoss. There's our fleet beacon. Getting ready for that Tempest or Skytoss transition. He's getting ready for it. Percival does pull away. And in the end, both armies, they bounce off each other. We're maxing out. Now, as we're both maxing out here, I'm actually favoring Percival's overall army composition. We are making 4 Liberators at a time. Liberator range is not really a factor here, unfortunately. Here comes a nuke. No reaction. Doesn't pull away. And is the mineral line within range? Ooh, it is. Very clearly within range. 15 probes go down. Very nice nuke. And again, Percival, he has a more refined army with Ghosts, with Vikings, with soon-to-be Liberators as well. Creator is very Colossus heavy. It was 1. And Creator, with this style, he either had to be more aggressive and more assertive, or switch into Skytoss in a more assertive way. He's getting a mothership. Liberators and harass. We get some decent storms. Is also being dealt with, and Percival, he's going for the expansion. Show CMP. Oh, not quite. EMPs, they land on the Stalkers. The Liberators have to reposition. Double zone away. Nice EMPs. Get better connections towards the end. The mothership has arrived. You have to respect it. Mothership does help hold. Creator holding on. The EMP lands. The Viking count is not that high though. But here come the Liberators. We have freedom. We have reinforcements. The mothership goes down. The base falls as well. And Percival is snowballing out of control. As you mentioned, Percival just has a superior army composition. He's built up to an almost perfect army with Lib and Ghost. With Lib and Ghost Viking. And Creator is still stuck with a gateway composition, still stuck with Mass Colossus. And again, he never really made that switch into Skytoss, only got the mothership. An ambitious nuke. The hope is that Creator, he wanders into said nuke, but alas, there's just nothing here. Thank God there's no like fallout effect or anything like that. That'd be be crazy. As Creator, he does come in for a flank. Percival in a bit of an awkward position. The Creator rotates. We have more Liberators arriving. That's going to be 8 libs in total. That's a lot of freedom. It's a lot of liberation. Zones away the army. Another base goes down, and Creator just cannot engage. He cannot engage. Not into this. Not with the ground focus army. Vikings, they go ham. Show CMPs. Nice CMPs on the Colossus. And with that, oh god, the Prism goes down. No Colossus remaining. Vikings to land. GG gets called, and Percival takes game number 1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Again, Creator, he was a little bit too passive for my liking. I mean, a couple of different things here. One, if you're going for this mass gateway composition, you do need to have the superior economy. I will say that Percival did a great job early on when it came to dealing economic damage, when it came to the Widowmine drops, when it came to the early harassment. Creator himself was struggling to really recover from those early losses, and we saw that Percival, he was able to hold his own. Coming into the mid game, we had a little bit more of a back and forth here. We saw that Creator, he was stuck. He got stuck on, even though he was maxing out on Colossus based composition. Ideally, as the game progresses, you want to get out of Colossus. You want to get out of Colossus because your opponent has all these Vikings into Disruptors instead. We never saw a switch into Disruptors. Like, that is the go-to in this kind of game state, because EMP shut down High Templar and Viking shut down Colossus. So Disruptors, they're the one thing that you can use to buy time, to zone away the army, to take fights, and to allow yourself to get into proper Skytoss, which is what I assumed was going to be coming with Tempest, with the mothership, but it was only ever the mothership. Never really invested too hard into it, was stuck with a subpar army, got outscaled. did get outscaled. GG, well played. With that, congratulations here to Percival, as we are now getting into game number 2, loading into ley lines. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the blue Protoss player, the blue Protoss himself, the South Korean Protoss, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is a creator. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Terran player, the Red Terran. It is Percival, leading the series 1-0. Let's go. Creator's greed didn't pay. Yes, in regards to the opener, if you remember, Creator, he went for a 2-gate opener. He went 2 gates into a 3rd base. Early on, he did fall behind. We emphasized how the entire purpose of the opener and the build was to get an economic lead, but he fell behind economically, and he fell behind tech-wise as well, because he delayed his tech in favor of the faster 3rd base. So it was a really rocky start for Creator. So I mentioned that Percival did have the stronger early game. Creator, he did stabilize. He did eventually max out and stabilize, but again, with that maxing out, with that stabilization, he kind of was stuck on a subpar composition as well. Was stuck in the mid game. And now we're getting into game number 2. Can we do Gamba for game 2? No Gamba, no Gamba. This is a replay cast. These matches are less than 24 hours old. These matches occurred yesterday. For those that are just now tuning in, we did mention usually we cast KSL live, but we weren't able to yesterday, just because we were casting Stellarfest. If you recall, we were covering Stellarfest. We were the B stream, so because we were covering Stellarfest, we couldn't cover KSL, or we chose not to cover KSL. So we're here less than 24 hours later with those matches. Here we go. So far, we do have an initial opener. Once again, economic start out of Percival, going for a Rax expand, going for a delayed factory. Meanwhile, Stargate out of Creator. Okay. This is not a normal opener, not anymore. This is very out of favor and out of fashion. But it does go for the Stargate, and we'll see if he can go unscouted. As the Reaper dips in. And the Reaper should confirm. And it gets 1 probe kill, nicely done. Adept has right, the Adept zones away, and Reaper does fail to scout. Yeah, 0 scouting out of Percival. Doesn't get in. And this is important, actually. Now, with the Stargate, we can open up Phoenix or Oracle. We can look for damage or look to gain map control or both. Now, what are the pros and cons of Stargate play? The biggest con here is that you are vulnerable to all-ins, right? You're vulnerable to more aggressive builds, but aggressive builds have been falling out of favor. They've been falling out of the meta, right? We've been seeing more and more mid-game play in TVP over the past month, if not a couple of weeks. We're seeing more mid-game, less all-ins. So if this doesn't get scouted, there's a very high chance that Percival just expands and doesn't go for an early timing. And if that happens, Creator, he will gain map control, he will contain the Terran, and be able to snowball from there in the mid game. So this has a lot of potential. It does have a lot of potential here, as it is unscouted. Phoenixes are revealed. It does get 1 probe, 2 in total. That's going to be for a Reaper, Hellion, and a Marine. And now here come the Phoenixes. Percival back at home, he's setting up. He's setting up his Widow Mines even. Where are we borrowing? Okay, behind the building racks. Phoenixes dip in. Up! Mine shells do not connect. And now the problem here with the opener and the problem with delayed scouts is ideally we would have never seen a Widow Mine drop, because Widow Mines, they're contained. Now we cannot actually drop across the map. So the opener, the build of Percival, gets shut down. It is shut down. The Phoenixes do successfully contain. They contain the drops here back at home. And we have the Bay on the way for Colossus. So Phoenix Colossus here by Creator, again very old school. This was very meta, and this was the build to go for a couple of years actually, for 2020, 2021, 2022. The initial COVID years of StarCraft. It was all about Phoenix Colossus, and very rarely did we see deviation. Coming into 2023 is when we saw more like 3-gate blink, 4-gate blink play. Creator does pull away. Does pull away. We're massing on more Vikings, getting into a 3-1-1 setup into Stim. So early Stim, obviously tanks are not required, right? Like you need tanks against Blink Stalker play, against Twilight Councils, against Stargate openers, no tanks needed. So Percival, he's building up. Likewise, so is Creator. Now, for all Percival knows, it could be Phoenix Colossus, it could be Phoenix into Charge, right? It's not uncommon to go into a very Zealot-heavy, Gateway-heavy follow-up with Mass Zealot.
Add-on complete.
As Percival, he's hunting for the Phoenixes. And does go for an early push, actually. Okay, he's committing. Very early move out. Stim is almost done. Stim will finish by the time the army gets across the map. We're just rallying everything, just massive amount of DPS, Vikings, Marines, Widow Mines. First Colossus has arrived, and can Creator keep it safe? Here go the Vikings. They get 1 volley off, they get 2. 3 volleys connect. That's the first Widow Mine to stay, trying to force friendly fire. Ooh. Creator does split. Nice splits out of Creator. So far it's buying time. Buying more time. Very nice force fields catching out the Marines. Marines get caught. Oh, Colossus taking a lot of hits. Barely gets away. Barely pulls back in time. And Creator defends. Oh. Creator, he does hold, he does defend. The Colossus is finally going to go down, but it's gone down so late. It was still worth it. It did pay for itself. Second Colossus has arrived. And now we see a very delayed third base here for Percival. I mean, he's at least expanding, but he has bled out so many units already. So many here. Speaking of, the final Viking goes down. Limited anti-air. Percival, he will lose everything. The Marauders. The Widow Mines. Oh, meanwhile, okay. We were distracted. So was Creator. That's going to be 8 kills here on the first Liberator. Likewise, second Liberator into the main. 17 probe kills. That should not have happened. Again, we were distracted. Creator was distracted. This is critical damage. 17, 18, 9, 20? 20 probes. That's over a mineral line, and Creator is committed. He's committed. He has to move out. That was insane damage. But when it comes to the main army, I have to favor Creator. Like Creator, he has the stronger main army. Yes, he's been crippled economically, but he's up 20 army supply. Does lift. Does lift. Mine shot. Ooh, does go off. One Widow Mine connects. But now he's built up to 2 Colossus, and again, Creator, he has to break this position. He has to break the third. If not even just end the game. As Creator is just turning back the army, started stepping in. Oof. Turns the mineral line. And he gives chase. Yeah, he gives chase. And again, Percival, he doesn't really have much of a standing army here. He's trying to hold on, but here come more reinforcements. Colossus, they stay back. There's 4 Vikings. But they can't do anything. Maybe the third base goes down. 14 SCV kills. Creator does successfully get some counter damage done. And now he can back off. He can back off, but he doesn't. Now we're up to 3 Colossus. More Stalkers on the way. Nice EMP. Very nice EMP. Creator, he shuffles his units well. He wants his Vikings. There's again 3 Vikings left. Down to 2. Down to 1. Yeah, and he's a Creator. He just keep pushing. And the one thing threatening Creator here is the Viking count. Like, the Vikings are holding the line here for Percival. He's trying to hold on. Does try that positioning. Gets 1. Gets 1 Colossus. Nice movement there with the Vikings. Very nice movement. This Creator's getting a 4th. So maintaining that economy. 3rd Colossus has arrived. So far, it does get Colossus. First, he gets a pickoff. But again, he's so much more committed here. 4 CC has begun. We're rallying in Ghost. EMPs, there's no recall. When she overcharge. Oh, the save though. The control. Creator, he saves the Colossus. He's giving chase. Liberators are trying to siege up. But not enough momentum. Yeah, the Liberators are going to go down. They're going to be targeted. They're going to be targeted. One of them does fall. Creator running out of zealots. Does run out. Hey, Liberators are the MVPs earlier. Once again, they hit the 4th base. Diving the Colossus, gets 1, gets 2. It takes the snipes both Colossus, not bad. Depowers the Robo. Depowers the Gateways as well, and he does get away. A very nice dive here from Percival, very necessary as well. Again, Percival, he was behind. He's blowing his way back in. He's still in this map, he's still in this. Este Percival. Building up. Building up. First, sorry, Creator, he does rotate around, does catch a couple of medevacs, not bad. So far, Liberator Harass is a little bit less effective, and Creator's going to be the first to max out. Now, again, it's been an intense back and forth so far between these two players. Percival is getting his 4th base. You mentioned before that he was at a deficit, that he was behind. Catching 2 Colossus did help quite heavily, of course, but Creator's still the first to max out. Still going to be the first to max out. What's important is that he has a lower Colossus count, but he has now High Templar in the mix. He now has a 2nd Robo. Storm is finishing up as well. Is going into no disruptors, but a more immortal heavy follow-up here. And it's going to be on Percival to turtle. Like, he has lost map control. At this point, he has lost map control. He's turtling up back at home. That's why we see SimCity, Sensor Towers. We should be seeing depots as well to wall up and wall off. Should be seeing that soon, once we have the money for it. As Percival is still maxing. Fusion Core is on the way for Liberator range. Again, we are entering the late game. As we mentioned at the start of the series, it is much more common to end up in this kind of game state nowadays, as the meta has shifted over the past month. Much more common. As Percival does stim in. He gets into the middle, and nice EMP. No recall. And no defensive recall. The army races back home. At the same time, Zealots, they try to get across the map. They run into planetaries. Ooh, and that's going to be 9 probes falling. Ay, ay, ay. "14 probes even as well. Creator getting pulled apart here. He's getting torn apart. Leading out Archons. Leading out more units. Creator, he responds to the main army. Which means the drop in the main base is getting more damage, by the way. Killing pylons. Ooh, Brutal Storm. Oh, no, he stands in the storm. He stands in the storm. Yeah. And with that, he will lose everything. Yeah, Percival, he will lose the main army. At the same time, the drop is still being active, but there's not much left when it comes to the drop. Oof. The storms with the EMPs, sorry, the MVPs back. Let's go. As a Creator, he does gain momentum. He's moving out. The planetary is not done. Creator is pushing in. Does he go for the base? Oh, I mean, he does force a cancel. Yeah, he cancels the planetary. Can he kill the CC? Not quite. Does not try to target down. CC will escape. Trying to dive in. Oh. Does try to dive. The boys are being pulled. Percival is getting desperate, and Creator, it looks like he has done it. He's gained momentum, moving in, taking better fights, better trades. The boys are doing what they can. They're tanking some of the shots, but Percival, he is broken. GG gets called, and Creator, he ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. A very intense back and forth here. Again, Creator, he was able to take some better fights, so able to take some better engagements, overall take a lead. We saw that Percival, he did have some very strong moments himself when it came to harassing across the map with Liberators, when it came to pushing between the bases as well, catching out the Colossus, but it wasn't quite enough to give him the momentum he needed to recover, to fully even things up. We saw that he was tearing Creator apart towards the end of the game until he stood in the storms, until he lost the main army. Once he lost the main army, there was nothing stopping Creator from pushing out, from counterattacking. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting into the ace match. We're loading into Pylon for game number 3. Let's go. Let us go. Let's go. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner here of Pylon, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss tying up the series 1-1, forcing the ace match. It is Creator. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Terran player. We have the red Terran himself, also from South Korea. It is Percival. because we are going to be settling in. We do have a creator here on the right-hand side, getting ready for his own proxy. Okay, so a very cheeky opener here. Very cheeky. Oh, it's like let's go. Proxy gates versus proxy racks. Vamonos, papi, vamonos. Now, remember, it's 2 racks Reaper. 1 rack's at home, 1 across the map. This is very uncommitted here by Percival. So he will have some reinforcements back at home, but it's still going to be a bit of an awkward defense for the Terran player. Likewise, awkward for the Protoss, because we have 1 gateway at home and also 1 gateway across the map as well. This should be Zealot first, I believe. Yep, Zealot first into a proxy Stalker, into Adept. So Zealot, Stalker, Adept here by Creator. Meanwhile, we have, oh, Marine. Uh-oh. Are we going proxy Marauder? Okay, so we are committing a little bit harder here. CC on the low ground, gas is being mined from, and what are we making across the map? Are we going for the add-on? Yep, Tech Lab Marauder. So proxy Marauder hits late. And Creator will hit first. Here comes Creator. There's that Stalker. So Zealot Stalker, double Stalker actually, not Adept. Which means that reinforcing Stalker is going to be later. Here comes Concussive Shell. Zealot's waddling in. And the first Stalker's already arrived. And I'll be honest, there's nothing to kill the Stalker, I should emphasize. Like, this Stalker should bully everything here. Boys are being pulled, and Percival, this may just be a build order loss, to be honest. May just be a build order loss here as 2 Marines go down. There's 1 Marine left. Now we have more Stalkers, and again, there should never be a world where any of these Stalkers die. As there's no factory, there's no Marauder. I mean, 1 Stalker gets surrounded, so that is miscontrol by Creator. But it's a little bit sloppy. It's fine though. Like, again, there's nothing. There's just nothing here. Pappy breaks into the main base. More boys are being pulled. There's 1 Marine left. Marine is going to be targeted down. And again, there's just 0 army units, only SCVs. Sure, there's 1 Marauder across the map, but that means nothing. That means nothing. Again, it was a very intense back and forth series, with both game 1 and game 2 getting into a longer game state. But here in the ace match, like, it's just a really brutal game here, a really brutal build for Percival. As the CC is perpetually delayed. Adept has arrived. Again, there's only 1 Marine to defend. We lost 8 SCVs in the defense. We have more Stalkers, more reinforcements on the way. Does keep the Marine alive. Now there are 2 Adepts. Oof. And Adepts, they can tank Marauder shots. They can tank. Get another Marine. And here, Percival, he's on copium. He's huffing a bit. He's huffing quite a lot of copium back. We have zero mining, 0 economy, down to 11 SCVs. Not like this. Not like this. And again, I mean, we just gambled, right? Like, the gamble was real. As blindly was setting up for the proxy Marauder. Percival down to 13 SCVs, up against 30 probes of Creator. Yo, but mules though, true. With even economy, but we got mules. Okay. As we're catching reinforcements, catching up the Marauder. Brutal pickup. Brutal pickup. And this is the last push. The real final wave here from Percival, the final move out. He's going to do whatever he can with his army. What does he have to work with? He has 3 Marauders, 3 Marines. He has an army up against a shield battery, up against Immortals. Creator is perfectly fine. He's perfectly fine here. He can just, hey, move. Yeah, GG. GG gets called, and Creator, he takes the series 2-1. He does advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played, creator. He does claim the series. Again, it was very intense back and forth. I loved both game 1 and game 2. We were able to embrace the longer, later game as well. Here in game 3, just build order win. Build order win. It was a proxy 2 gates out of creator, 1 at home, 1 across the map. Meanwhile, proxy 2 ranks out of Percival, but it was proxy Marauder. One of the ranks was Marauder, so again, it's so delayed. The Marauders are hit so much later, and of course, they cannot defend, they cannot help you out. So with Stalkers, of course, there was no real reason to lose a Stalker against the Marines. One Stalker did get surrounded by the SCV, so a little bit of miscontrol there by creator, a little bit messy in the execution, but overall, still overwhelmed. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have our 2 finalists. With that, we have the grand finals. It's going to be a best of 5 between creator and classic. Oh boy. Here we go. As again, typically the champion, the winner, the player that dominates these KSLs is Hero. Hero, he's won like 95% of KSLs in 2025. It's crazy. I think he's on those 3. I think only 3 KSLs haven't been won by Hero, and 2 of them he didn't even play in. Like that's the reason why. Is the reason. There's one KSL that he did lose against Classic in the finals. I think that was the week before EWC. I think it was the week before Esports World Cup, if I recall correctly. But outside of that, it has been in favor of Hero, but Hero isn't here. Again, this is one of the rare times that Hero is not available. So instead, we do have that best of 5 finals between Classic and Creator. Let's go. Let us go. Of course, it was last week. It was last week that Creator did actually, sorry, I say last week. I think it was 2 weeks ago at this point. That Creator, he was looking dominant over Hero in the Sparkling Tuna Cup October finals. True. Did look amazing in those October finals. But that was, of course, against Hero, who was hyper aggressive. We'll see how Classic will adjust its approach compared to Hero. Let's go. Let's go. Spawning in the right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss for Team Protoss Pro. It is a Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss player himself. It is a Creator. How many non-Protoss won the weekly spat? Viable thought. It's pretty common to have Terran champions. Like it's usually like around like 50-50 or like 60-40 in favor of Protoss and Terran when it comes to winning weeklies. So players like Clem, Byan, like they're usually like the players to win those, alongside like Hero and Max Packs. Fun fact, this week we actually had a Zerg champion for the first time in like 6 months. Like shout out to Solar. He won was it Wardy TV Monday? Solar, he won. Hold on, let me just double check. Actually, I can just open it up. But Solar, he was the first Zerg player in months to win a tournament, to win a weekly. So big shout out to Solar. Let's double check here. What did he win? He won Monday Night Weeklies. That's it. He won the Monday Night Weekly 1-0 over Hero in the finals. He won the best of 1. So Sola, he won the best of 1. 1 game over Hero. Took him out. GG. First time in months back. Clearly, it's too much. It's too much. How dare a Zerg player win? Smurge. But here we have our PvP. We have our PvP. We have our 2-gate opener out of Classic, a 2-gate opener out of Creator. So far, so good. Spoiler alert. The fun fact is that Solar, he actually lost against Hero in that tournament, but because of the format of the tournaments, like, it came down to a best of 1. That's how they... Again, Monday Night Weeklies has an interesting format for its tournament. Personally, I'm not too fond of it, but they had a rematch. Hero, he won the best of 5, and then they had a rematch, best of 1, and then Solar won that, and then he won the tournament. So, GG. Yo, we take those though. Like what? We take what we can get back. So far, though. So far, we are going to be settling in. Again, so far, standard openers, it is going to be a Stargate follow-up out of Classic, going for his initial Oracle. And so far, I believe unscouted. Yeah, Creator here is yet to confirm, as he did not open up Sentry, so Stalkers are rallying across. He's got 4 Stalkers moving out. A hyper-aggressive start here by Creator, delaying his sentries, delaying his hallucinations. And here we go. The 4 Stalkers are pushing in. Classic back at home, he has a safety shield battery. The Oracle moves out, and Creator, he has to break through. He needs damage done here. As does poke in. Gets a probe. Does one-shot the worker. Can maybe pick off the adept at the same time, and nothing at home to defend. We have 3 sentries, though. 3 sentries to hold on. And they will defend. Okay, they do deflect. Nice defense here by Creator. Pokes in, gets... Oh, does trade 1-to-1. Aye. Yeah, not the best trade here from Creator. Remember, he sacrificed scouting, he sacrificed his own tech in favor of pushing in. Oh, the setup at a Classic, though. Okay. He's chasing. Classic does give chase. There's a stasis. What does it connect with? Looks like 1 Stalker. Yeah, just the 1. Could have been so much worse. If you got both Stalkers, I mean, that could have been game. As there's no shield battery on the low ground, sentries have to rotate over. Oracle's back into the main, they distract the sentries. But there's the Immortal to defend, and Creator he will hold. So far so good. Creator he does hold on, did go for his Robo. Prism is on the way to counterattack. And the game will continue. Economies are neck and neck, but very different tech paths. Creator going for a more Immortal and Robo heavy composition, meanwhile Classic going into Blink. Going to something more mobile. Spoiler alert, that was last week's tournament results. What do you mean? That was the Monday Night Weekly. Which unfortunately we don't cast on the channel. Maybe one day, maybe one day. Oh, nice aces. Delays the push, delays the Immortal even. Very nice. Immortal is delayed. We have 2 more shield barriers on the way. Classic is warping in. He's building up back at home. Blink is not yet done. It's going to be 9 Stalkers up against the 8 Stalkers and the Immortal. Oracles, they do hit the natural. Nice damage here, getting 5 probes. Shield battery was not done. Yeah, too late. Shield battery was delayed. Creator's pushing in. Adepts shade into the main base. 2 Adepts taking 1-shot probes. And Classic, he pulls the boys. Oof. Yeah, boys are being pulled. Very nice force fields. Creator, he locks down the army. Zones away the Stalkers. Brings down 1. And Creator, can he break this position here? Can he break it? It's still close. Oh. That's Creator, he will lose the Prism. Prism goes down. No more reinforcements. What you see, what you get. We'll lose the Immortal. We'll lose that Immortal. Classic can just out-control this army. He blinks well, and he will clean everything up. GG gets called. And Classic, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. Classic will take a lead in the series. Again, a very aggressive style here out of Creator, opening up quadruple Stalker with 4 Stalkers moving out, reinforcing as well. Going into Immortals, and again, not really having any kind of longevity in that game. He did lose a lot of probes here to the Oracles. He was committed, he was all in, and barely did not break through. GG. GG, well played. Whew. With that, we're getting to game number 2, and we'll see if a Creator can bounce back. Let's go. Let us go as spawning in the top right-hand corner of Tokamak. We have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the Blue Protoss representing Protoss Pro, leading the series 1-0 after surviving the aggression of his opponents. It is a Classic. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the Red Protoss player, the Red Protoss himself. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. It is a Creator. We go. Going to do move out. And so far we are setting up once again. Welcome to Tokamak. Tokamak is a much larger map of the map pool, longer rushes by ground. It is actually very common to proxy on Tokamak because it's so large. There are so many common proxy locations. We'll see if anyone is tempted. Creator pokes in. He's looking for the second pylon. And Classic turns back around. Oh. He hides the probe. Okay. Does pull away, throws down the cyber core, but he doesn't scout, I believe. Yeah, 0 scouting at a Classic. 0 scouting, comes back. 2 gate opener. And Classic doesn't even bother to scout Creator. There we go, he hides that second pylon. And does he get into Creator's head? Well, as Creator, he doesn't confirm. And soon Creator is going to do a lap. He's looking. Yeah, right now he's looking for the pylon. Trying to figure out what's going on. And does he open Robo? Does he believe he's being proxied? I mean, Classic, he's known for proxy Robo. Robo gets locked in. You can see he's looking. Checking further in the main. Does check further in. Yeah, he's scouting. You can see here a second probe gets sent out to scout on the right-hand side. He's looking for the proxy. And Creator, he fails. Yeah, there it is. Robo, no. Ah. So Creator, the way this is working here, one, Creator, he has a worse economy because he has 1 extra probe scouting across the map. Technically, he has 2. He has 2 probes scouting. 1 in the base, the other checking for proxies. Meanwhile, because he didn't see the pylon, he's responding with a Robo. This is designed to hard counter a proxy. To hard counter 1 base all in. So big misread here by Creator. Now, what he can do, this is a really rough position, but Creator, he can turn this into his own 1 base all in. He can throw down a 3rd gateway, get a Warp Prism, and just send it across the map. But if he doesn't, he will be playing from behind. Because Classic already has a base, right? He already has a base on the way. The pressure's on Creator. Ooh, and he will expand. Okay. And Creator, he goes Observer instead. He has a lot of catching up to do. Got some catching up to do. Dread in the shade. So far, Creator is keeping up. And Epsay shade into the main. Teammates in. Ooh, nice force fields though. And he will lose 1. Yeah, one of the depths should get picked up. The other does get into the middle line, gets 1 probe so far. Can we get 2? Can we get 3? He can. Oh my god. Yeah, barely 3 probe kills. Not bad. Not ideal. Gets 3 at the same time. No! 2 of them stay shade into the main base of the Creator. And again, they can get some counter damage done. And probes are being targeted down. He gets 1. 2 is going to get at least 3, maybe even 4. So far, an equivalent amount of workers. And with that, Classic maintains his economic lead. He maintains that lead. He's moving out. He's got force fields. This early on, force fields are brutal because there's no Warp Prism and there's no blink. So force fields, they can just slice up an army. Creator's being proactive. Creator, he will hold a nice counter force fields. Locks down one of the Stalkers. Gets 1, gets 2. Gets 2 Stalkers, get the Sentry as well. A much better fight here for Creator. Much better. With that, Creator's pushing. Creator dropping into the middle line. Nice force field. Oh my god. Cashing out a couple of probes, but only getting two. Yeah, only two workers. Ooh, and the Immortal's going to be abandoned. Does he get it? He does. The Immortal goes down. Not like this. Prism across the map as well, but there are units in position to defend. But that was a big loss here for Creator. So a bit of a back and forth here. Creator, he has been behind economically for most, if not all, the early game. He was able to pick off some Stalkers and Sentries initially, but did lose an Immortal, and now we can see Classic turning this into an all-in. What do we have? Glaive and a massive gateway explosion. Classic, he does not expand, and Creator, he may opt to expand himself. Uh-oh. Yeah, Creator is getting a third. So as Creator expands, Classic is going 2-base all-in. So this is lining up well here for Classic. Glaive Adepts do not scale well into a longer game. The purpose of Glaive Adepts is to just be a buffer, to just be the filler units here, to support the army, to support the Immortals, to support everything else. As a third Immortal is coming. Adepts, of course, they can tank well. They tank well against Stalkers and against Immortals. Into the main. Shades into the mineral line. Getting 7 probe kills in the main as well. Brutal economic damage. Dropping in between the bases. And here comes the all-in. And now Creator sees what's coming his way, and again, he's not ready for this. We need shield batteries. Need warp ins. Speaking of, a gateway gets depowered. Pylon goes down. Creator, he supply blocks. Not like this. Oh no. Ooh, okay. Gets supply blocks. Snipes 2 Immortals. Nice moment here for Creator. What do we have? What do we have to work with here? So Creator, he's up in Immortals. He has a Warp Prism to juggle his units. True. But he's down in Sentries, down in Force Fields, down in Adepts. Classic is moving in. Adepts a shade into the mineral line. Mortals are being zoned away. Sentries are exposed. Once again, though, the Immortals actually push forward. Bold move. As the Immortals expose themselves, one Immortal goes down. One Immortal left. Once again, nice force field. Stalkers, they dive in. And Creator, can he hold it? No, the boot command. Chasing the Immortal takes so much free damage. He has so many free shots. And the Adepts are still popping off. No, the Adepts are still getting more damage done. 16 probes. This is critical damage in the natural. And Classic, sure, he fails to break the main army. Like, honestly, Creator had a really nice defense, sniping the Immortals, force fielding the army, diving in. But the economy is what suffered. What won the game wasn't the main army of Classic, it was the Adept harass, and that was 21 probes. And now Classic, despite being all in, he has double the economy. He has double the worker count. He has a crazy economy. Mass Adept moving in. That's a lot of Adepts. 24. 24 Adepts back. The boys? The boys are being pulled. GG gets called. And Classic, with boys randomly showing up across the map, because why not, does take a 2-0 lead. GG. Hi. GG, well played. Does take a 2-0 lead here. Again, a very intense back and forth. Both players had their moments. Of course, Classic had the better start. He had the much better start. He was able to take an economic lead. But of course, we saw a bit of a recovery there from Creator. He had some nice moments himself. And honestly, if those Adepts didn't wreak havoc in the natural, if he was able to keep up and minimize economic losses, he could have defended there. Like, that could have been a defense for Creator, but alas, he was torn apart, lost far too much. 21 probe kills, that is game-ending damage. And with that, we're getting into game number 3, and Classic, he's one game away from claiming the series. Oh no mas. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Maganatha, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. Leading the series 2-0, it is Classic. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss himself from South Korea, down heavily in this series. Can he bounce back? Can he make a series out of this? The pressure is on. It is Creator. Let's go. Let's go. Setting up. As he does move out. And Creator, he's had enough. Okay, it is going to be Creator's turn. I've been waiting for it. Last game, of course, Classic went for a fake proxy. This time, Creator going for a very real one. One base all in here by Creator. Classic, he does go for the probe scout. And Classic, he does notice, hold up, something's wrong here. Where is the pylon? Where is that second pylon? So Classic, he's aware that something is wrong. It could be fake, it could be real. It is up to Classic to determine what exactly is happening, as it is a one base all in proxy robo. So here we go. Proxy Robo is on the way. Classic, he is checking the Zelnaga tower. He does spot the probe. That is the sign. So, okay, the probe is at the Zelnaga. That means it must be in this area. Yeah, and you can see the re-rallying. Yeah, this probe initially was scouting the left-hand side. Does reroute towards the right. And up! Barely misses. Yeah, barely does miss the proxy. Checking the top side. Stalker moves in, and there we go. He does find the robo. He's aware. He's going for the pylon. Pylon's under fire. Creator coming into support. He has two adepts. Can he get the pylon? Can he get it? Probe goes down. No backup. Oh, no backup pylon. No second pylon. This pylon's going to go down. The robo's going to be depowered. The immortal's going to be denied. Ideally, that probe was meant to get a second pylon up and running. Oh, boy. And with that, the Olin's being shut down. The Olin's being shut down. Stargate follow-up. Oh, God. He's going for the Stargate. Very delayed tech. Very delayed. Ay, ay, ay. A very, very rough start here for Creator. Not like this. We do see Classic. He went for his own defensive robo, so that means he can go for his own one-base all-in, his own one-base follow-up. He's got the Prism, got his own immortal on the way. Nice re-wall. It does re-wall. Nice force field as well, locking down the adept. Those are being cleaned up. We have the defensive Void Ray on the way. I mean, that'll help, but there's plenty of anti-air. We have plenty of Stalkers here. Classic started stepping in. It's a massive supply lead. The shield battery is helping at least, but the force field locks down the army. Yeah, cannot start to step away, cannot escape. The boys are being pulled. And so far, nice target firing. Yeah, very nice target firing here. We ignore the boys. Probes are being ignored. The Stalker, there's one Stalker left. Down to zero. Zero Stalkers remaining. And Classic, he has done it. He has broken the natural. Void Ray comes in. The Void Ray is on its own. Nice juggling. Juggles back. Saves all of his Stalkers. Oh my god. know, single stalker goes down. GG gets called, and Classic, he will break the natural, he will break Creator, and Classic will take the series 3-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Classic for claiming the series and becoming this week's Korean StarCraft League champion. GG, well played. A very dominant showing here in the PvP. We did have some moments for Creator, of course, but there were a lot of mind games coming into play as well. Like last game, Creator believing there was a proxy when there wasn't one, so having a shaky start. Here in game 2, Creator going for his own proxy, but being scattered immediately as well. So, I mean, that's how PvP can be. You can gamba, and gamba well, or it can all just fall apart. So GG, well played. Shout out to Classic here for claiming it in the end. Creator may have beaten Hero in the previous Tuna Cup, but here Classic does bring Creator down in the KSL. GG, well played. As we have our champion for the week. And again, congratulations to Classic. Really cool to see Creator making it this far, and I want to give a shout out as well to the other top players, right? Percival, he had a crazy series himself. It was really, I mean, I can easily see a world where Percival could have been here instead of Creator. It all came down to that ace match regarding to the build order win that Creator had. That was just a really unfortunate position there for Percival. Likewise, Young Yakov versus Classic was also very close as well. Like, I could see a world where Young Yakov could have won that series. I'm referring to the game on Maganatha, where Young Yakov, he did back off, he alleviated that pressure, and Classic recovered eventually over time on Maganatha. It was very close, so I can again, as I mentioned, I can definitely see a world where Young Yakov could have kept that pressure up, could have dealt more damage, ensured that Classic didn't stabilize, and won it from there. But GG, well played. Classic does claim it, and with that, thanks for watching. With that, that's going to be us wrapping up for our morning broadcast. Oh boy, has this been a very intense week. It's been a very intense week of StarCraft. As you can see here, our schedule has been full of non-stop StarCraft 2 casts a day, almost every single day. Bappy. Yesterday we were live with Stellarfest and with SDO. Today, this morning, we just wrapped up the, as you can see, Sunday morning was meant to be Pickerstar Cup, but I did not get the replays for Pickerstar Cup, so I wasn't quite able to cover that. Instead, we went for the KSL cast, and tonight we have Sparkling Tuna Cup. We spoke about this earlier, but Tuna Cup is going to be this evening. That is going to be at 7 p.m. KST, 9 p.m. AST, 8 hours. In 8 hours time, we are live with our next tournament. So we'll see you then. We will see you then. See you then. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, we'll be live tomorrow. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, it's going to be likewise very intense. We're probably going to shift things around a little bit just because of another broadcast that's on the horizon. But we will be live with the Enki Epic Pro Series next week, most likely on Monday, maybe Tuesday. We have Pigster Cup on Wednesday. We have the Wardy TV Monday replay cast on Wednesday. We have the Tenacious Total Tussle that makes its return on a Thursday. We have the Pond cast, of course, more Wardy TV Monday, MSO, STC, and also what begins next week? The RSL, the Revival StarCraft League Season 3, the final season of RSL begins next week, the group stage. So make sure you're a part of that. We won't be covering it. We'll be covering the playoffs. We'll be covering the playoffs ourselves, but the group stage is next week. Something else that we're going to be covering is the OSC Rising Star tournaments. Tentatively, that may be tomorrow, actually. Maybe casting it tomorrow. I do have to get the replays for that and get set up for that as well. Oh boy. Monday, 10th. Okay, good. Monday, the 10th. Okay, just left a message. Whew, but otherwise, GG will play, just catching up with the chats. Just catching up. Just tune in next day, 6 ball, baby. It's the 6 ball. GG. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Again, if you want to support the KSL, exclamation mark at KSL in the chat. You'll get a link to the Korean StarCraft League Patreon. It's all funded by the people, for the people, all via Patreon. Likewise, this is a bi-weekly tournament, basically every fortnight. Every 2 weeks, we do have the KSL. So in another 2 weeks, it's going to be another Korean StarCraft League. Otherwise, again, we should be live tomorrow with the OC Elite Rising Star Tournament day number 3. should be tomorrow, and it may be a double broadcast. It may be a 2-day event in the morning, and double broadcast in the morning and in the evening as well, just because there are going to be a lot of matches, a lot of StarCraft. Otherwise, again, we're going to have some StarCraft Evolution, some Big Star Cups, some War DTV Mondays, Turtle Tussles, and Tuna Cups as well. Otherwise, enjoy yourselves. Have a great rest and end of your weekend, of course, as the weekend does come to a close. Do check out the VODs of Stellarfest. The Canadian tournament, I believe, did just wrap up a couple of hours ago as well. And again, RSL is right around the corner, and the Platinum StarCraft 2 League Finals coming into December as well. Also, when it comes to the end of November, don't forget, there's going to be a big show match, a big kind of a Chinese celebration for the return of the Chinese server. I believe Oliveira is going to be competing, Scarlet is going to be competing as well. We have yet to confirm the details of that, but most likely we'll be covering that as well. That'll be around the end of November. Otherwise, we'll see you guys later on tonight for some Tuna Cup. See you then. If you want to support us, you can do so by following us, ! YouTube in the chat. You get a link to our YouTube channel. We do stream on a daily basis, and VODs are uploaded on a daily basis as well over on YouTube. Otherwise, we'll see you guys later on tonight. Until then, ciao, bye, ciao. See you next time.